Hello again, XDA Developer TV. It is about 10 days after the end of the Big Android BBQ 2013, and I thought I would just go over with you very quickly my experiences at the barbecue, what I saw, things that I recorded, and just let you know how it went. Now, as you probably know by now, the Big Android BBQ is a multi-day event. I arrived on Thursday evening just in time to not be able to check in because I didn't actually get registered for the event. I was registered as part of the sponsor because XDA was a sponsor. Got to spend a lot of time over the weekend with the guys from XDA, be it the moderators, the senior moderators of the forum, as well as a lot of the recognized developers and elite recognized developers. That was an awful lot of fun, just feeling like I was actually a part of the XDA crowd. Being a person who's not exactly an Android developer or a Windows Phone developer or any sort of mobile developer, it was amazing to sort of be pulled into that crowd and into that little clique and feel like I was a part of the real XDA. And actually, on Thursday after we arrived, a large portion of the XDA representation, we all went out to dinner together, went out to this very obscure Mexican restaurant in the middle of Mexican town, effectively, and had some very interesting food up to and including cow tongue. And of course, Thursday night is the big pool party. There's lots of people there. There's lots of drinking. There's lots of, we don't need to go into all that. No photos were taken. No video was made by me. Needless to say, at least one person ended up in the pool in a gorilla suit, and fun times were had by all. Cue Friday. Friday was the beginning of the event. You had the entire day with this giant show floor filled with people, and then presentations going on in different track rooms all over the conference center, as well as one room dedicated to being a code kitchen where you could go to learn about Android development or just development in general, asking questions, getting answers, all sorts of things like that. Unfortunately, I didn't even get the opportunity to go there. I spent the grand majority of the day on Friday at the booth talking to people, interacting with guys from the XDA community, interacting with people that didn't have a clue what XDA was. So it was definitely a lot of fun getting to meet and greet a lot of people from the XDA community and otherwise. I got to see a little bit of the opening keynote and got to film some of the audience there, so that it was nice to be able to see the sort of turnout that we actually had at the barbecue this year. And other than that, like I said, the grand majority of the day was spent sitting in front of a television that was constantly playing my face, playing the XDA Developer TV videos, and just hanging out, talking to people, filming things. We even did a couple of interviews with different attendees of the barbecue, people that were XDA forum members that we just wanted to talk to sort of get their experiences, their take on the event, their interactions with XDA, how they became involved with XDA, things like that. First guy I met was named Martin. He wore this awesome steampunk top hat with goggles on it, and honestly, the hat matched his personality. He was eccentric, he was quirky, he was definitely an XDA member. All right, and I'm here today with an attendee of the Big Android Barbecue. I'm here with Martin.
Yes.
Martin, what brought you to the Big Android Barbecue?
I'm an enthusiast. I just want to get involved in Android development. I haven't had any experience. Like, to show you where I'm from, I found out how to work GitHub a week ago.
Okay, and are you a member of the XDA community as well?
Yes, I go to the forums as a learning source, like, all the time. And then Adam Outler does a lot of stuff that I love, and you too. Yeah. And I love watching the videos because I'm able to learn like so much. I'm just here to learn, maybe meet some people. I'm having a great time, and hopefully I can maybe turn a job into something. Yeah. You know, like I'm keeping all my options open right now.
So what are some of the things you've seen so far that you have really interested you or excited you?
There's a lot of companies that are involved that you wouldn't think would be involved, but because they see what's going to happen, they're getting involved now. And I'm always frustrated when you see a company that could become so much better by getting involved with stuff that in a month, you don't even need to see 5 years, like in a month is going to be amazing. And they're missing out on so much stuff. Right. And so that is exciting. And then meeting people, again, the whole XDA crew. I was over at the Oppo table. I arm wrestled Ollie and won a little minifig. Like everybody here has been so great. It's been an awesome experience. And the next guy I got a chance to meet was Jose. He was actually from the area, and as soon as he heard XDA was going to be at the barbecue, he made his way there as fast as he could. Hello XDA Developer TV, we are back again with another attendee interview. This is Jose. He's come here to the barbecue, and we thought we'd ask him just a couple of questions. So, Jose, what brings you to the barbecue?
Well, I love XDA, and once I heard y'all were in town, I gotta go. Yeah. I even told my boss that I'm gonna take 2 days off. I'm going.
So you're a member of the XDA site?
Yes, I am. I do a lot of rooting, and I also do do a lot of your custom rounds, I go ahead and download them. And sometimes I have questions, so I go in the XDA developers and I ask.
So how long have you been involved with the forum?
The XDA developer, I've been 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, we've heard a lot of stories from other people. It's like, I was a Windows Phone user from X number of years ago.
Oh my God, I started with the iPhone, but once I hit Android, it was no coming back, man. I had a Windows phone. I didn't like Windows, so I rooted it and I put Android on there. Dual booted it.
Oh yeah.
Man,
what's the Windows Phone you had?
Which one was it?
When the HD2 was it?
Yes, it was.
They're still developing for that one.
I know,
That's
man.
amazing.
It is awesome.
Yeah,
it is an awesome phone.
They got Jelly Bean running on it now.
I heard that. I mean, I've been looking at it, and I'm like, wow, this phone is unbelievable.
Wow. So anyway, sorry, just get back on track. What sort of things have you seen at the barbecue so far that you really enjoyed?
Well, I really enjoyed the lectures. I'm actually going to go into the Code. What's it called?
Code Kitchen.
Yes, into the Code Kitchen. I have some questions for them, and I also want to enter one of the the hackathon things. But yeah, man, I'm enjoying the conference a lot. It's awesome.
And Friday was wrapped up basically with dinner with some of the guys from XDA again. A little bit of alcohol may have been consumed. We're not going to go into that though. Got a chance to hang out with ThaPHLASH. If you didn't see the video interview I did with ThaPHLASH, that was an awful lot of fun. So then Saturday we had a lot more of the same. A lot of sitting around at the booth, getting to know people, seeing the sites, seeing all the other booths and seeing what was going on. One of the best booths as far as I was concerned, one of the ones I found really, really interesting was the NVIDIA booth because they showed off the different iterations of the Shield. They showed off the different prototypes, how it had gone from, this blob of stuff into a little more congealed, and finally into the Shield. So that was an amazing booth. There were some other really interesting ones like the High Roller booth, and that is sort of an adult big wheel. It's like a tricycle with a giant front wheel, and there were people that were constantly riding that up and down the halls. And then of course, to make things interesting, the guys from Oppo, who were positioned directly across from the XDA developer booth, had a guy dressed up as the Oppo mascot, Ollie, and he was arm wrestling with people to win a little Ollie mascot, which you can actually see. I've got one back there in the background. Yes, I arm wrestled with him, and yeah, of course I won. Big beefy guy like I am. And I even got a chance to go to a couple of presentations on Friday because I was supposed to go to those presentations. Those were done by members of the XDA community, specifically Ethan Yonker and Guillaume Lesnick. I'm not going to pronounce his name right because I honestly cannot pronounce French names for some reason, but Troy and XpLoDWilD. I recorded both of those presentations, so if you haven't seen the video from those yet, you can always check them out over on the XDA Roundtable channel. I also got the opportunity during the weekend to do a couple of interviews with those guys, just some very quick, why are you here, what are you involved in, what sort of things are you going to be talking about, any big projects that you're working on. Those videos can also be found here on this channel, the XDA Developer TV channel. And finally, after a very long weekend, the entire event wrapped up with this large party. Now, unfortunately, last year I had to miss the party because my flight left early, but we worked things out in such a way that I was able to stay the entire time. I was able to have lots of fun. The high roller guys, the guys with the large big wheels that I mentioned before, were out there in full force. There were lots and lots of races after the food was consumed. ThaPHLASH was out there providing his DJing style, lots of people having fun, dancing and partying. There was even a dunk tank, and honestly, this might have been the highlight of my weekend. Adam Outler was in the dunk tank, thanks to, I think it was sponsored by Sony. He was up there with a Sony Xperia device, getting dunked into the tank, and I even caught this on film. The very first time he was dunked, I caught it right as it happened. It was beautiful, and we can watch that over and over and over again if you'd like. So all in all, to kind of wrap things up, the Big Android BBQ was, for me, an experience. It was an amazing event. Got a chance to meet a lot of people that I'd never met before, people that are just completely unique and interesting, people you would probably not meet in your everyday life. I work with a lot of really extraordinary people, and the people in the Android community are just a completely different type from the people that I would meet in my everyday life. Very quirky, very unique. During some of our giveaways, we weren't even giving things away yet, and people were asking for, might be able to see them, I've got little tiny pins up there that were being given out at the barbecue. In order to get the ones from XDA, all you had to do was be subscribed to our YouTube channel, but in the very beginning, we weren't giving them out yet. We didn't have them, or we just weren't ready to give them out, and we had people saying, I'll do push-ups for them. So we got a couple of guys with Google Glass on doing push-ups for barbecue pens that said XDA. And really just the opportunity to sort of step away from everyday life, go down there to meet a bunch of people that had this common interest of Android and of mobile technology. And really it wasn't even just Android. There were Google Glass presentations and device repair presentations and Ubuntu mobile presentations, Ubuntu Touch presentations. It sort of ran the gamut of mobile devices, at least in terms of Android and open source and things like that. So to put a sort of a summary on it, if you have the opportunity to go to the Big Android Barbecue, or really any sort of conference of this type, be it barbecue or XDA DevCon or even a Linux conference, to be entirely honest, because I've been to several of those myself, you probably ought to take the time and just give it a shot, because you're going to meet a lot of like-minded people, you're going to meet a lot of people that know so many more things than you could even possibly imagine, and you'll even get the chance to meet and do things with people you would never thought you would. Really just a unique experience for me, and I would not change it for the world. I'm seriously hoping that something like this, if not something better, happens again next year, because the barbecue is just amazing for me. So yeah, that wraps it up from me. Hopefully that covers just about everything that I meant to cover. I probably forgot something, and if I did, I'm sure you guys will let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching though. If you like this video, please hit that like button down below. I guess hit it if you like to hit it, or don't hit it if you don't. That's fine. Subscribe to receive our content as soon as it becomes available if you want to. Thank you so much for watching again though, and I will see you again on Friday.